Hey everyone, Jim T with the RC News of the Week. It is 3/21/2022, and some interesting things have happened this week. This is my rundown of some of the hot points, and you can always find these on RC groups, which we will jump to now and take a look by adding it to the stream. So as you know, and I'll do this very quickly, you can always see what's going on by going to our home site, or if you want to see the news that we have created, updated, been made aware of, and are sharing, you can always click on that first round button on the upper part of the site there. So let's go back to where we were, and we'll start talking. First of all, let me say, before we jump into this, it is springtime, and I was actually on the phone with a big company, and they were like, boy, we can't wait for spring. People are going to start going back out to the field. They're going to need products and batteries, and we're going to be selling airplanes. So I can tell you that all the people that support our hobby are excited at springtime. I know that we are excited at springtime because the cold weather is basically going to be gone. I'm sure something will rear its head up, once or twice more before the season is in full swing, but nice weather. It's going to be a little windy, things like that. But spring's always exciting for an RC pilot. And with that said, let's look at the cool stuff that we can go do during the springtime. And I'm going back. So the first thing up is the Durafly Prime Tundra PT1200. Everyone loves the Tundra. And this thread will let you know that by everyone talking about it. It's got a great trim scheme. This is aimed primarily at the novice. It's a stall trainer with stall characteristics. So I've read on the forum, why is everyone enamored with stall? It's because stall is fun. It's easy to take off. It's easy to land. You can take it to very small fields and get in and out of it, which is the whole concept of stall. These planes were designed for the Tundra so that you could go to Alaska and get in and out of remote locations without a runway, which, if you think about it, in RC is sometimes what we're also looking for. Learn to fly the Tundra way. So this thing comes with 3-axis ORX gyro motor, propeller, ESC, 6 digital servos, Turner GT6A V2 transmitter and receiver, and everything's pre-installed. So basically it's ready to fly. You don't need me to tell you about this. You need Stuart, who, if you don't know, go ahead and trust him and listen to what he says. Stuart is one of us, and just happens to be the designer of some of the best airplanes out there. Or let me say it this way. There's a lot of best and a lot of great airplanes. He's a designer of some beloved airplanes by the hobby.
So I'm going to pull full up, and you'll see that it pretty much does nothing.
Is it already stalling? Because I can't tell.
You see that?
Yeah.
See that?
So he's elevator up. This is a great test.
That is very non-eventful.
Yeah, it's very non-eventful.
It just mushes forward, which is what you want. A lot of in the old days, you'd pull full down on the elevator and it would tip a wing and start spiraling into the ground. So, just showing you how stable this thing is. Man, I'll tell you what you need. You need an airplane that's durable and can do things.
Hello, and a very warm welcome to hobbyking.com. My name is Stuart, and I'm here to proudly and finally present to you a new plane from Durafly, something that follows on from the great lineage of the Tundra. We have the 1200mm Prime Tundra. Now, I can't talk about the Prime Tundra without giving you at least a brief overview of its history and its lineage. Of course, many of you that know Hobby King will know the Durafly Tundra, extremely popular model, 1300mm, but it was never intended to be a pure trainer. A lot of you went on to use it as a trainer, and that's great. It sure talks to the versatility of the Tundra, but it doesn't fly as a trainer should. It's obviously quite aerobatic, and it's rather fast. The Prime Tundra was designed to fill that gap of a primary trainer, hence the PT. So the Prime Tundra is exactly that. It's not massively fast, nor is it massively aerobatic, but nor does it need to be. Now, there are two versions of the Prime Tundra. There's the ready-to-fly version that you see in front of me now. Now, the ready-to-fly version comes with the model, comes with gyro, and comes with receiver and transmitter. The plug-and-fly version of the Prime Tundra comes without the radio system, so without the transmitter and receiver, but still includes a gyro, and we'll talk more on gyro in just a minute. Both versions fly on a 13 to 1400 milliamp hour 3S like this Rhino that you see here. So where the Tundra, the original Tundra that inspired the Prime Tundra, was all about stall capability, sports flying, high speed and low speeds and aerobatic, the Prime Tundra is all about teaching people to fly. So whether you are a total novice and you want to teach yourself to fly in a safe environment, we've got the ready to fly for you if there's not a radio available, or even if you're a somewhat experienced flyer and are looking for a more stable version of the Tundra, then consider the plug and fly Prime Tundra. Because I do have to say, whilst this is primarily a trainer, it is a lot of fun for the experienced flyers out there. And I'll show you what I mean by that when we take it out into the flying field just a little bit later. So out of the box, minimal work to do on this. You screw on the towel, you screw on the wing struts, and you have a choice of wing securing mechanisms, harking back to the very old school days of learning to fly.
This is important.
When I learned to fly 20 plus years ago. You'll see this now. A lot of you may wonder what this is. This is rubber bands. You have a choice of either rubber bands or wing bolts. The advantage of rubber bands is that when you knock the wing on a landing,
and there's no screws.
You're doing your first landings, the wing will flex off of the fuselage rather than pulling on the bolts and potentially breaking it. So you've got two options there. You've got the wing rubber bands or the wing bolts. I do recommend the wing bands when you're first starting out with those first couple of flights.
If you do use
Model
the rubber
itself,
bands,
1200
be sure to buy a
millimeters,
box,
it flies on that
they get old and
3S13,
rot, and you get to the field and your wing falls off.
And it has a Aerostar 30 amp with reversing ESC. Now the reversing is not plugged in on the ready to fly version, but on the plug and fly version, when you fit your own receiver with a 6-channel, you can of course have the reversing. Now why would you want reversing? Primarily you want it for floats. The Tundra floats are optional with the Prime Tundra, not included, they are optional. But the RVS really comes into its own when you're flying off of water. The motor itself is a 30-25 1300 kV, and it's rocking a 11x4 propeller. And flight times, even with the 1300s, you can expect flight times in excess of 7+ minutes, obviously with mixed throttle use. And flying itself, it's a joy. It's a real joy. And you know what's been a real joy with this Prime Tundra? Is teaching my son to fly. Now, my son, you can see on this box. Now he helped in the development of this model. Later stages when we were developing the ready to fly version, he helped me set up the parameters. He was the guinea pig, if you like, for setting up the ready to fly radio. And you can see in this footage of him flying here, he's 6 years old. In a very short order, in just a week or so, he, after just a few flights actually, he was taking off, doing circuits and landing all by himself. And that's because of the 3 gyro modes that are included with the pre-installed gyro. Now on the radio itself, and we are going to be flying the ready to fly version and then later the plug and fly version in the flight review, so we'll go through that. But there are 3 different modes on the gyro. There is full beginner mode where basically it self-rights. Then there is gyro stabilized mode where it stabilizes your flight. And then there's full aero and acro mode where there's no
So this is a long video and you can go check that out in the thread. Let's jump ahead to a little flight and then we'll move on with the news. I'm tempted. I want to watch the whole dang thing, but I know we don't have time for all that. I mean, we do. Yeah, you can make it as long as we want. Let's watch it jump off the ground.
All right, so what we've got in here is a old Turnigy 1300 milliamp hour 3S battery. Now I've got it tilted forward so you can just see me plug it in. The first thing you want to do is to get it on a level surface and then look out for the tail. So get the plane level, watch the tail.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
That's normal. See the dance? Call that the servo dance. When all the servos and all the surfaces have twitched like that, that means the gyro is now initialized and ready to use. And as you can see, you can hear it moving there. And you can also see...
This looks like maybe a must-have.
I had a throttle armed in the arm position, but if you put it in the disarm position, you can see it doesn't work. So that's the safety feature.
Okay. I do like a throttle switch.
Switch it into arm. And away it goes.
For safety.
So, I can't really show you too much here on the ground. It's best to show you up in the air. So I'm going to take this up now and I'll show you the flight and explore the 3 different modes of the Prime Tundra ready to fly version. Let's do it. Alright, so here we go then. I want to just pick up on 2 things for you. First of all, come here. You'll see In action, we've got the rubber bands on the wing. Now we have a band or bolt system for this, so you can use wing bolts or rubber bands. Here are the rubber bands. It's just another thing to learn. Right, let's go ahead. We're in training mode right now.
This is Star
we'll
Wars.
show you take you off.
For sure.
It's a very simple affair. Apply power.
Yeah. All grass.
Getting it going away, and it will pretty much take off on its own. Just pull it a little bit of up, and you are now flying. So this is in the stabilized.
Those power lines are right
training
there,
mode.
aren't they?
So what that means is that I cannot roll over a certain
we know about
degree.
that. Let's jump.
All right. That's what we've got right now. And with my Radio Master T16, I'm able just to set it up much more the way I like it, because it's a far more advanced radio. Good. So I'm going to go, I'm in full high deflection on the rates and full flaps.
Okay, so we're...
Tundra, and we'll show you a short takeoff of the Prime Tundra. You ready?
Yeah, that's
Ready?
what I want to see.
A little bit of power, punch it, and then up you go.
Yoink.
That's rather short. So, the
You gotta
Tundra
flip
is
those
definitely
flaps off
shorter,
like a pro.
but the Prime Tundra is very, very good as well. And it's a stall trainer, remember, or it's a or if you want to phrase it another way, it's a stabler version of the Tundra. Now, I'm going to start mixing it up a bit.
Yeah,
The great
flaps.
thing about the Prime Tundra, you can fly it in a very, very tight space, and you can do high angles of bank like this.
Let's see him
and
throttle
will
it
not
down a little bit.
stall. So you get it around now. This is full flaps now. And when you really get confident with it, you can really start exploring. You can see it flies in an extremely small space.
That's
This is
awesome.
full flaps right now. With the gyro on, only the gyro. What you hear is me just flipping the throttle.
I don't know, y'all. I think, let's go see something. So we have all the information here with all the parts, size references, in the air. And now let's do the thing that's most important. Click the click here. 245. Come on. Is it in stock? In stock. Listen, it's 2022, y'all. A great price, a great airplane, comes with everything. I don't think it comes with a battery. Let's go look. I bet $100 it does not. I'm going to go back to my article. Included airframe, transmitter, receiver, motor, ESC, servos, propeller, adapter, one accessory pack, and a quick start guide. Okay, so you need to buy some batteries. I usually have 2200s. I don't even think I own a 1400 like he was talking about. But holy smokes, what a deal. You could do a whole broadcast just about this thing. But we're not. We're going to move on with the news. Thank you, Stuart. Thank you, Hobby King. And now, I wanted to feature this. As you know, I have a Horizon Media section where anything media that comes out of Horizon, I'll stick in there. Pretty sure just about everything. And so what we have this week is a podcast with Zane Smith, driver of 385 F-150 in the NASCAR World Champion Truck Series. He's not only an incredible driver, he's a young man with a lot of accomplishments in his career. And so if we hit the people of the hobby.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the On the Horizon RC podcast. I'm your host and Horizon CEO, Chris Dickerson. And with me, as always, my co-host, our marketing director, Steve Petrato. Steve.
So let me stop there. I've hung out with both these guys in RVs out in the field and pastures of America. Good guys.
We are
doing it
back.
for the right reasons. Such a big company.
Be a boat.
And they always have great content. So go ahead and check that out. That's in the top bar as well. And you can meet Zane. And I have a link to that right here. And there you go. Horizon always coming out with great products. Usually, pro tip, on a Thursday. So if it's Thursday, be sure and check. Let me show you where to go. Because this is how I do it. Go to Airplane Talk and go to Jason. Look for Jason right here. He's at the very tippy top. Now check this out. Just blowing your mind a little bit. This E-Flight Turbo Timber, 166,000 views. Let's just find another one. 220,000 views. 1,000,929 on the Tundra. That's when I was talking about how people were into the Tundra. Almost 2 million views right here. So there it all is. 532,000 on the Draco, which is maybe the sexiest airplane of its kind right now, as far as looks goes. So that's where all the super secret stuff is happening, and I'll go in here and I'll feature it, especially if it's Jason. So there's that. Moving on, we got the blog of the week. I want to talk about a company that just came on, Robart, and Mike called me and we had a long talk. Man, you talk about some good people, really good guy. When you hang up the phone, you're like, I just had a great conversation. So where are we at in here? Electric Warbirds. P.S. Do you sell electric? Oh, no, this is gratuitous. I can't tell people who sell electric Warbirds they should have a banner right here, but I would like to. Because you should. Anyway, Robart has some new Corsair retract. It's a combo kit, and they wanted us to talk about it. Let's watch the video instead of me.
Hi everyone, Mike here with Robart and Zap Adhesives. And today we're going to be talking about Robart's retracts to fit inside of the Top RC Corsair. So what you see here is everything that you get with the electric set. Now, this is available in electric as well as pneumatic. So let's go through each of these and give you a brief explanation. I'm trying not to make this video way too long. So with the electric set, you get a pair of mains and you get shims. You're going to get 4 shims. All right, these go between the mounting rail here, right there, in between the mounting rail on the plane and the mounting rail on the retract. Without these, what happens is the ball link rotation, it's hard to see it in here.
We're a little in the minutia here. Let's jump.
New Robart scale tail retract.
Wow.
So let's get a couple of these out of the way and let's talk through what you got. Let's start on the front. So this part, these parts here. So
here's everything you need to know. Let's see if there's anything working in this video.
We can talk about those. So for parts bag. Then when you go to deploy the gear, that slip on the air cylinder releases that catch.
So there you go. This company's been doing things like this for a long time. They make great stuff. And, you know, they're a phone call away. So if you have any trouble, there's all the info. We're huge supporters of this company. And you should be too, because I wouldn't want to be the guy who had to invent, create, and build all that. It's awesome that you can just order it. So check them out right here. We'll click on the link, learn more. And you can go to their site and see all the things that they sell for awesome airplanes. And now we're moving on to just something weird. This is a 3D printed Spider Cat XT with FPV. So I don't know if you know this. I was a crazy car FPV person. First I got into FPV, and then I was like, I want to sit in my office right here where I'm sitting and drive around and do that. So I have not watched this video. So here's the thing about FPV, ground FPV, is that your signal is really low to the ground, and it's really hard to get back to your base. So what I found is the higher the antenna on the vehicle, the better reception I would get. And I could get out my backyard and out my gate, and that was kind of it. I think I went farther once, but when you lose it, then you got to stand up and run and go get your stuff. And yes, gauges are important to find out, especially how much battery you have left, which will tell you when you need to head home. Very cool. Let's jump out of here. What's it say? RC 3D printed Spider Cat X2 looks almost real if it wasn't for 3D print lines. So, is there a picture of the Spider Cat? I guess that's it right there. Oh, I see. Yeah, 3D print lines are just kind of a thing now, if you ask me. All right, moving on. Right thrust, a Jason Cole special. I remember when I first got into 3D and I didn't understand how the heck a motor was supposed to be at an angle. In fact, the first plane I bought that was someone else built, I was like, look at this, look at this. They've got the motor crooked. I couldn't believe it. And then I found out that's a thing, y'all. Which I'm sure you all know of. Fight Club. What happens in Fight Club stays at Fight Club.
If you have an eye for detail, you may have noticed that some aeroplanes have their engine and propeller slightly offset to the right-hand side.
That's what I was saying.
This is not a fault in quality control, but a carefully engineered feature designed to help counteract the aeroplane's undesired tendency to yaw to the left.
So here's a whole video on this, and the way we knew about it back in the day is we were trying to do 3D stuff, and this was super important for that. Just keeping everything going the right direction. Have you ever wondered why your motor on your plane is angled slightly to the right? Oh, she just said all that. Okay, right thrust explained. If you don't get it, you should go watch it. Just put that in your mind palette, and that way you can take it out anytime you want. What do we have here? We have JTech. So I gave you a little news last week, and I'll update now. JTech is attempting to sell their company due to just they've been in the company or in the business so long, they like a little vacation. But if they don't sell the company, they're going to continue selling airplanes. And so I thought I would feature the airplanes. So if you go to Joe Knoll or a big giant scale show, these are the kind of planes that we are talking about. And you met these guys they build these things and they have so much time and money in them. And they're so much more complicated than some 40 size plane that we've been talking about. And so this is the company that knows what they're doing. And they have it all, from motors to the planes themselves and all the parts that you need to get there. So go check them out, JTech Radio Wave. They are the sponsor of this week's news broadcast. Tell them RC Group sent you, or Flying Giants. And check out all on the side here. You see all these planes, the 2.8, MX2, Giles 202, Extra 300, Yak 54, Pitts, Taylor Craft. And then they have a lot of other things as well. And you can still buy their mufflers and things like that. So go check them out at JTech and tell them Jim T sent you. I'm like an old radio broadcaster now, like when I was at my grandpa's. I've heard that's where I heard that actually. Seagull's model, I said it before. They have a container in, and it's racers. And this has also had, it's interesting because I throw so many articles up when people really start reacting and saying these are good looking, and they are. I think 50% of my attraction and initial attraction to the hobby was how cool some of these birds looked. So I have a thread that's showing off all the planes and features, links, parts, and all the pre-order now information is up here somewhere in this article, so you can read about the pre-ordering and how that's going to work. Look at this guy. Come on. I've said it before, but man, that's awesome. So go check them out. Legend Hobby. These guys are super stoked about what they do and very into the hobby and into planes like this. How do I know that? Because when I talk to them on the phone, it's very obvious that you can feel the excitement in their voice. If this is your thing, please go check them out. You can also tell them Jim T sent you while you're at it. And then we have something new. By the way, Flight Test is now a sponsor of RC Groups. I built this before they were. I built it, and then I said, hey, I made an article. I want to make sure you saw it. And then we got on a video chat, and I got to hang out with those guys. And so this is a FTC update, Flight Test Community Association. So they talk about what's going on. They have a great, what do you want to call it? It's not a field. I guess it's a field. It's more than a field. Let's see what they say. We love all things flight, but our passion is people. We're grateful for the opportunity to be able to combine everything that makes FT special with the FT family. And so they bought a golf course, and this is where they operate out of, sell their planes out of, and then they have events and have people down, and they fly off this golf course. Here's some things that are happening at Edgewater, which it is called. And let's click Air Park. Let's see what we get. Okay, so here's the location, weather information, waiver, contact, calendar, which we sort of just looked at. And you can check them out there. Lee, who just emailed me. I'm going to see what he says. Yep, okay. So I've got to talk to Lee. That's the beautiful part about my job is you create things like this, and then in the meantime, you're getting texts and emails from folks at all these great companies. It's pretty awesome. Just saying. And they talk about let's talk about this. BVLOS ARC highlight. The FAA released the Beyond Visual Line of Sight Aviation Rulemaking Committee report March 10th. The report is set of industry recommendations that the FAA will use. And to learn more. Okay, so the meat that goes with these potatoes is right here at this link in the story, which once again you can find right here at the top of RC Groups. Is there anything else? Let's jump out to RC Groups itself. Hey, you know, these dang shows always almost come out at the same time with virtually no planning. I think I've hit the line. I always feel like I haven't said enough. And then I look up and we're right on the number. Pretty amazing. So just FYI, you can always find YouTube videos from RC Groups right here in the sidebar. And then stories that I just went over, also listed in the sidebar. Be sure to visit Flying Giants. They have different stories. They're more giant. And other things. Now, I didn't share everything with you because I will be doing another news broadcast this week. So I kept some things back just for us to discuss later in the week so I don't run out of topics. You never know. I always say this. I'm like, I should save some. And then by the end of the week, I have so many topics, then I have to leave some out. So that's good. That's good. It means the hobby is rocking. Here's the Legend Hobby main section, which is going to be gone soon. In just a few days, that will no longer be there. So check that out while you can. And, of course, we have all our sections. In case you didn't know, and this will be the last thing I say, Servo section is newish. And we broke it out of the radio section. So anything servo related goes there. And that is all. RC Groups, it's always rocking. Hey, everyone. I'm Jim T. Graham, your host. I've been doing this a long, long time. And I don't know. It's funny. I'm still excited. All right, everyone. Jump on RC Groups. Hang out with us. Say hello. Post anything that you feel is appropriate for the site. And we'll let you know that we appreciate it. And, by the way, I have another mass email sitting up here, and it's hot threads. And so what I do is find threads that I think everyone would like, and then I feature them, and then I'm going to send them out. And it's just sitting there waiting to go out. And I guess my point is that do you have a hot thread suggestion? Send it to me. That'd be awesome. All right, everyone. Jim T. Graham, RCGroups.com. I'm out. Thanks for your time, and thanks if you were live joining us. And if you weren't, hit the subscribe button and be a part of the RC Groups YouTube channel. I'm out. I've said it all. I should say no more.